We're told that we should be loving and kind in our communication, but what does that actually look like in practice? Well, in 1 Corinthians 13, St. Paul reminds us, among other things, that love is patient and love is kind and love is not arrogant or rude.
I find that it's really easy to be loving and patient and kind, not arrogant or rude, to friends, but for some reason, when it comes to spouse, it's a lot more challenging, especially when there's something to resolve, some sort of conflict going on, an argument that we're in. So today we're specifically focusing on communication with our spouse, and this is what God is calling you to be. And like Greg said, St. Paul spells it out for us. Love is patient. Love is kind. It's never rude or arrogant. Essentially, look at 1 Corinthians chapter 13 as a blueprint for how you should communicate with your spouse. One of the obstacles that I have found in this is that I'll lie to myself. I'll say, sure, I love my husband, but, when he comes home from work late and he didn't tell me about it, I'm going to let him have it, and somebody might say, well, when my wife is disrespectful, I'm going to treat her like the child that she is. We could tell ourselves that we love our spouse, but, our actions, they often say actions speak louder than words, right? Show what the truth is. Essentially with our actions, we're saying, I have a right to be rude from time to time when they deserve it, or, when the situation calls for it. But we're called to love. We're called to love. Jesus never says, love except for when they don't deserve it. He never says that.
There was no but in there.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. But yes, we are called to love, but what does it look like? How do we capture that? How should it look? Because that might not be so clear.
Okay, well, back to St. Paul, it's patient and it's kind. So maybe we could look at our lives and see if we can find any examples.
Yeah, sure. I am in this wonderful co-op right now where it is just filled with amazing ladies who are all just supernaturally kind and patient, I have to say it. And, I can pick any one of these amazing ladies and take a look at how they treat me. And I think, wow, she is so kind to me, or she is so patient when I mess up, and I mess up a lot. But they show me what kindness looks like. They show me what patience looks like. And I never see rudeness or arrogance from any of them. So, I think that's a great way to see what kindness and patience looks like is through your friends, if you have any that are patient and kind with you.
Yeah. Now, when you're living with someone pretty close to 24/7, we're all human, right? So we can't expect ourselves to just never fail. It's impossible to never fail. So we shouldn't expect ourselves to be perfect with this, but we should work on becoming perfect with this.
That's a good point. So I guess the point that we're trying to make is we shouldn't be okay with falling. So the point isn't that we should never fail, but we should definitely strive to not fall so much. We should definitely strive to be patient, strive to be loving. Because, if you strive, it happens less often, ideally. Too often people will say, well, that's just the way it is, or that's just the way I am. That's what we shouldn't be okay with, is that attitude of, it's okay. It's, I'm just going to be rude from time to time because that's.
Yeah, we shouldn't make excuses or let ourselves go, right?
Right. We are going to fall. We are, our emotions sometimes control us, but we should strive against that, right?
Yeah, don't get discouraged. Pick yourself up and try again, right? Keep at it.
Yeah.
We'll get better over time.
Right. So we invite you to think of one of your friends who's kind, who's patient, and call to mind their way of communicating with you or with others that you've seen, their way of showing patience, their way of showing kindness. Then look at the way you communicate with your spouse. Really, truly look at yourself and listen to what you're saying, the words you're using, the body language you're using, the way, your tone of voice, whatever it is, and see the contrast, between what you're doing with what your friend does, and try to see if where you can improve. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Just keep an eye out for it and be sensitive to it, and you'll notice it more and more if you're looking for it.
Right. And see if you can make it so that your communication can look more like theirs.
Yeah. So try it out. Let us know how it goes. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll
We'll
see you next time.